Okay, our building code has a section regarding the livability. In that section it will address issues like how much light you get inside, how much air, how much ventilation, how far is the distance to your neighbors. There's minimum sizes for toilets, for a minimum size for a bathroom. You need to have X number of washrooms per house, and that kind of issues. And some of the buildings that are being built here with a bedroom without windows would be impossible. It's just not allowed. You need to have a window and you need to have fresh air coming into your house. The Architectural Review Committee, Schoonheidscommissie in the Netherlands, they will look at how a building looks like in regard to its surroundings. So if you have a beautiful building in one street, that new building that's being built there has to match it. It does not have to take down the beauty of the other building. So you don't only look at the qualities of the new building being built, but you look at how it looks in its surroundings and how it matches that part of the city like it's always been there. You don't want something that's completely different from what's there already. You want harmony in the street and in the neighborhood. There are some parts of town where they will treat it differently, like in really new areas, really modern areas, they may treat it differently, but most of the older areas, and older I mean more than 50 years old, they were treated like that. There has to be a harmony and it has to match. Even though that may seem very strict, still you get really beautiful modern architecture in the Netherlands, even in those neighborhoods. But modern architecture can also be in harmony with those older buildings next to it. If we would develop condo towers in Holland, they would, maybe from the outside they would look similar. You could build a glass tower in some of the more modern cities in Holland, like in Rotterdam they would do that. If you'll be in the older cities, they will of course look very different. They will be lower, you will not see 60 stories, maybe 20, that's it. But the biggest difference will be on the inside. You will not have bedrooms that are too small to put a bed in. You will not have bedrooms without windows. You will have more air inside, bigger spaces. The building materials will be of a different quality. You don't really use all the thin walls you use here. So it will basically be more technical differences. From an architectural perspective, it may be a little bit similar, although we will do more effort to fit it in the neighborhood. So a 60-story tower in an old neighborhood is inconceivable in the Netherlands. In some of the newer areas you may see those. And yeah, we have very strict rules for sound transmission. There's two kinds of sounds: sound between buildings, so between units. Those rules are stricter. And we have rules for sound coming from the outside to the house. So building a residential unit right next to the highway will be really hard to do that. You will have to do a lot of things to make that possible. So what we do very often is just put the road underground and just build on top of it. Okay. In Holland, the zoning bylaws will always be based on a bigger plan. So the first has to be a bigger plan, and then you make the zoning bylaws. And those zoning bylaws have to be rewritten every 10 years. If the city does not do that, they cannot charge building fees anymore. Building levies, sorry. So there's a very big incentive for the city to really keep them up to date, because otherwise they don't get their money. It's no use to make a zoning bylaw that tells you exactly what there is now. You have to leave some room for development. And in Holland, the zoning bylaws are very precise, but also they give you room for development where the city wants it, in the way the city wants it. So not in the way the developer wants it. So it's very clear, there's still room for development, but it's more organized.